So today we're diving back into VCT. It's starting up again, and we're going to take a look at the 2023 Challenges NA Open Qualifiers for the Silk Road versus the Nation. Now, the Nation is Stewie's team with Wardell on it, as you can see as well. But I wanted to take a look at this map in particular here on Fracture, because I do think that Fracture is changing, or has changed in a pretty significant way, because Chamber was a 100% pick rate on Fracture. You know, you think of like, oh, we were in the Chamber meta, but actually Fracture was kind of the only map where he was 100%. You know, you'd see like 90% on other maps, but Fracture was his map. And so when Chamber left this map, and obviously he's kind of out of the meta now, it left a big vacuum. And so now we still have a lot of people figuring out what is actually meta now on Fracture. We've got, you know, a kind of Neon Rays debate that has kind of shifted as well. We used to see, you know, used to seeing a lot of Neon. In this tournament, we've seen a bit more Rays, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. And we've got other debates like KO versus Fade, and we can see that that is here in these teams as well. Yes, most teams are going to play Brim and Breach, but other than that, there is a real debate as to what is the comp on Fracture, what should you be playing on Fracture, and let's take a look at this game because there's some interesting things going on. And let's start with round number 6, a bit of a wild round to start as well, where the Nation, they are on the attacking side, the Silk Road are defending, and what we've got is this kind of setup here. The Nation are going to take it pretty slow, be, you know, pretty defaulty. This is kind of how they generally played, but something's going to go a bit wild in this round, as you'll see, because what we're going to get is we've got the Cypher setup down here, you know, just on both sides, camera looking to check for any early aggression just there. The Killjoy setup for the Silk Road is normally on this B side. This is generally where they put it, and they have in this round as well. You can see they're playing a bit more passive on B, but these two here in A main, you know, they're holding A main and they're trying to get aggressive, whilst this Brim just watches in towards Dish as well. But what's going to happen here, as you will see, is the Cypher is about to make contact with that Neon, as, you know, we see Wardell there with honestly one of the ugliest skins, I think, in the game. If not the worst, to be honest. You know, just making a bit of progress towards Dish. The Neon comes up, stuns there, right? We get the breach, and then the Neon actually runs back into the cage. I think that the Cypher maybe interpreted this as, you know, that's multiple people coming here and running. So actually the rest of the team comes and takes the rope very quickly to try and help out the Cypher, as you can see just here. Whilst we've got Wardell on this race, you know, just still being very sneaky right up here, just sticking around. Now actually they're going to come still, you know, towards A, but we're about to get a massive exchange of utility, as you'll see. So Smoke comes in here, Fatal into A main to try and see where they are. We get a Neon stun in response. You might just be able to see that. And now in come the Prowlers. Prowlers to come and try and find where these players are, right? We're going to get a breach stun in there as well. We're going to get an aftershock. This is all really crazy, just to check that close corner. And then we're going to get 2 breach ults as well. So in goes 1 breach ult just there. In response, in comes the defensive breach ult just here. Wardell has also popped his Raze ult here as well. So he's blast backing in onto the site with a Raze ult. He's going to come and try and attack these players just here. If we come to the normal mode, you'll see that a Seize just lands there, and this Neon is just able to escape that Seize. But now blinded as well. There goes Wardell's. I think he got caught by his own breach ult just at the tail end of it. Just about misses that, but now we get a Brim ult as well. So you get a Brim ult just here on these players, and so that forces, you know, some of them back, some of them forward. It's all crazy. You got Wardell coming in behind here. You know, this is just a wild round, as you will see. He throws a nade. We get 1 kill in there, but Stewie is just going to be able to like get on the edge of this Brim ult. I'm not sure they expect him. As you can see, a flash has come in here as well. As you can see, these 2 players are flashed, and so he is able to get those 2 kills in there. Then we get a KO knife in here as well, and we end up in this 4v3. Really wild battle for A main there. Really crazy. We get the KO nade. We get Killjoy lockdown coming in, and obviously the Killjoy lockdown is one of the main reasons you want to be playing Killjoy on this map. You know, this is a pretty good lockdown overall. You know, it's going to force them back pretty far, and it does, you know, keep some of them back, but they are going to be able to win the fight in time before this Killjoy lockdown really has a chance to do anything. We get the trades back and forth, but as you can see, as they come in onto the site, this Killjoy lockdown is just not quite doing enough as the time ticks down. Wardell gets the final kill, and it is a win for the Nation. And now let's come to round number 8, where we're going to see actually just a big group up here from the Nation. They didn't do this too much, but this is one of the rounds that they did, and actually they're going to get kind of punished for this, and it's not going to go too well. Wardell here just goes a bit too early. We see that there's a stun just here. Maybe you can just see it above my head. Just there, but there is a stun going across in a main like this. But now he's going to blast back in behind it with the neon stuns right in front of him as well, as we can see just here. And he's going to, make a bit of a mess of it. The Fade Prowler goes in as well, but you see, like, he gets stunned by the neon stun, I think, there, and just dies. And so, we end up in a 5v4. Again, nice seize into an Aftershock, nice try, but they can't really punish it. Good KO nade in there as well. Honestly, pretty well played by the Silk Road there. They're, good utility to try and stop them coming out. They just quickly check, back towards their own kind of the other side towards the staircase here, but I think that they, felt more safe in doing this because of the Cypher setup, right? That this Cypher setup with this camera does just make sure that, no one has pushed out here. So, normally you would say like, oh, you've just all been grouped up here and now one of you is just running back over here. That's a bit of a risk, and maybe honestly it was because this camera won't see underneath, right? But, Stewie takes that risk and the camera does help him know that, most of it is clear. And there isn't anyone there. So they send out this Fade Prowler, and I think maybe they're trying to fake it, right? The footsteps coming across here, then the Prowler coming across here. Oh, guys, we're coming towards B main. Trust us. And this does hold these three players in position just there. As you can see, the breach begins to rotate as, they hear nothing else. And now they do come back towards A main. But we get the kill there. That's going to be traded out by Tig just there, but we get this really nice little flash in here. Another breach flash coming in here, so, you're going to get blinded by one of them, and a good kill there by the KO. Then we get an Aftershock in here as well, just to make sure that they can't retrieve the spike, so Aftershock going in there as well. Really good util usage from the defensive side here, as you will see. Now they don't have the spike. There's 30 seconds left. They're in a 2v4, right? This should be pretty hard to win at this point, right? They've just got the Killjoy set up towards B here for the Silk Road, right? This should be pretty hard to win. You get this little jump spot from the KO, really good stun. Again, really good stuff from the Silk Road in this round. We get a 1-for-1 trade, and Brex now, though, is going to win this 1v3, okay? Now, he is going to play it pretty well, to be fair, but you're going to see just a bit of panic, right? And this is an interesting situation where we're going to see Brex here. He's going to, you've got two players here. He's going to tap the spike, right? And you see that this breach, his reaction is to come forward here, right? But the thing is, the time is not low enough yet to do this, right? So this is kind of a situation where if there's 5 seconds left, 6 seconds left in a round, you can do this, right? You're in a 1v3 or even a 1v2, where if they tap the spike and then they have to take a gunfight against you, and then they won't have enough time, to then plant the spike. If it then goes below 4 seconds, you've won the round, right? One of you goes forward, one of you stays back, you play safe. But in this instance, he did that with like 11 seconds left, right? That's enough time to tap, take a fight, go back, plant the spike, right? It's not going to go all the way down to 4 seconds for that gunfight. So you can't really do that, right? So here, the spike doesn't matter, right? He's going to be in there, right? If he plants a spike or not, he's going to be there. So with this amount of time left, 1v3, this Killjoy is still rotating, as you can see from the map. In these kind of situations, with that much time left, you just want to stay together as a team, right? You just want to stay together as a team. Make sure you're playing as a team, whereas you can see now they are kind of treating this almost as if there's only 5 seconds left on the clock, right? Where one person run to try and kill the spike if he is planting, and one person stay back, if not. But even so, this Killjoy is always the last man alive. So, this Brim and this Breach here, it gets a bit mixed up, but it is going to be really well played by Brex as well, as you'll see, because this Brim going for that molly just there, manages to get the first kill, then gets the spike down, right? Has enough time. And it's funny that these two now, kind of do play it a bit more together, but you're going to see a really good swing here by Brex. This is how you play a 2v1 as well, right? He's just going to pick a time and swing, right? It's no good letting them to come to him and take the fight when they want. He just needs to, like, hope, he's on 68 HP. This isn't a very winnable situation, but this is his best chance. Just to take a risk, hope that, they're slightly out of position when he takes that swing, which they are here, right? They're very close to each other, but just he manages to just isolate that angle, win that fight. Now you're in a 1v1, right? Now it's very winnable. And he just, again, goes for it, feeling confident at this point, wins the 1v1, and ultimately wins technically a 1v4. It's a true 1v3, but, technically a 1v4. Really well played by Brex, but, it's very fine margins in those situations. You just need to make sure that you're making that correct decision, depending on how much time is on the clock. And now let's come to round number 12. And this is a bit of a crazy round as well, as you will see. We've got a bit of a default look here from the nation, just kind of spread out across the map, seeing what is going on. But what we're about to get is the start of a crazy round, where we're just going to get some ult spam here, where we get a fade ult in there to start. We then get a breach ult in response, and the KO ult gets popped as well. The breach ult actually pushes Tig back, kind of away from danger there, kind of saves his life being pushed back by it. You see a Seize comes in as well from Stewie, just to make sure that, the Silk Road aren't pushing the nation in this instance, which they aren't. And everything kind of just settles down, right? We just get a bunch of ults. Everyone's like, oh my god, they're pushing us. Oh my god, they're pushing us. But then everything kind of settles down. But the time starts to tick down. Brax starts to look towards B, maybe thinking, maybe they've rotated or something like that. And I love that these cages, by the way, I think these cages are really, really good. Kind of reminiscent of like Split A-side, right? Where you put up the two cages here, and now this Cypher, can just come and lurk anywhere in here, right? And as this hit comes to A, if you guys rotate, I could become behind you, right? Just really, really nice stuff. Just create that confusion throughout the round. But actually, Brax is going to go back and retreat and not stay with it. Stewie manages to get the first kill in the round, but here's what's about to happen, right? So Stewie gets this kill here in A main, as you can see just there. And then this Killjoy has ran this way. And I'm not sure if this is a little misinterpretation of what just happened, but Wardell is going to come and blast back in onto the site. And I think that probably what Wardell is thinking is that there's still players in here. And so he wants to create a pinch here, by blast backing in there with his teammates here and pinch on the players in this space. We can see that there is no one in this space. This door just opened though, but that was the Killjoy retreating. But I think perhaps they interpreted that as someone else coming in through the door, right? And them continuing to fight for this space. So Wardell, I think, believes that, oh, the site is clear, but they're in A main, and so I'm going to go blast backing in. Instead, he goes blast backing in. He takes kind of the alarm bot with him there, as you see, but then he dies, right? And now it's going to get even more crazy as the Killjoy lockdown comes down as well. We do manage to get that kill from Rossi. As a Brim ult comes in here as well, just to make sure that that is stopped. They get the kill on Stewie here as he's like just opening the door with this Fate on. We end up in a 3v3. There's 25 seconds left. The Killjoy lockdown is going down, right? The spike is over here. So Rossi's going to have to retreat outside of the Killjoy lockdown. We got our Brim here is just kind of on his own. Our Cypher is down here. It's a very, very weird scenario. And the time is ticking very, very low, right? So you see Rossi, right? He's having to retreat. The Brim does get into a good spot, but now we're about to learn that on any other map, I think you'd be pretty doomed here, right? The spike's so far away, 16 seconds left. Rossi needs to somehow come down here and plant the spike, but this is Fracture. And the thing is, on Fracture, is you're going to see that these three defenders here are in a pretty tough spot. Despite it looking very favorable for them, they are in a pretty tough spot because, again, because of that Cypher stuff earlier on and the Cypher's still alive, they're still worried that this Cypher might be coming behind, right? So the Neon is still looking that way. We've got the breach here that they know about, right? He's coming that way. No one's been suppressed, so they probably think maybe someone's in A main as well, right? And they're just getting pinched on from these three different directions. And so what you're going to see is that these fights are going to come in different places, right? We're going to get Brax here. He's going to open the door, right? He's going to open the door, but this Brim is worried, about what's going in on the site, right? So this door opens and Brax has a free kill on this Brim. Okay, so there's one free kill. And this is why you kind of can't just stay on the site. Like, you can't just defend Fracture normally and just sit on site because you will just get pinched, right? We learned that when the map first came out. No one could defend on this map because everyone's just trying to sit on the site, and it doesn't work. You have to be willing to fight for space somewhere. In this scenario, they just kind of end up in a bad spot, as you will see, because then after that kill, what happens, of course, the attention then comes towards Brax, and what you're going to see is, I think Brax is actually going to manage to get this kill, but you'll see from Rossi's, even if Brax wasn't going to get that kill, Rossi was going to get a very free one there on the Killjoy, and now they know where this Neon is as well, and so there you see Rossi swings just here, and it's just like you're getting pinched from too many different angles, and it's a nice win for the nation, despite there being very little time and it seeming like a very bad situation for them, because they were coming from all of those different angles and they were threatening to come from the other side and on the big flank as well. It caused a lot of problem for the Silk Road there. They win this without losing a player. And then finally, we will finish with the pistol round on the other side. The nation would go on to win this game, and you'll see straight away from the Cypher setup we've got here, Cameron here, right? 2 little trips in on the site. And I do think that this is just one thing that Cypher, when this map first came out, before Chamber existed, everyone played Cypher over Killjoy, right? And I do think The Cypher definitely does have some benefits still over the Killjoy. The range restriction on Killjoy, and you can never be too far away from your utility, does make a bit of a difference on both sides of the map. Obviously, particularly on that attacking side, that the Killjoy basically has to stay with their utility, whatever side. They can never kind of take the rope, otherwise they're just gonna lose that range of their utility. So that's like one big thing. But another is as well, like this kind of setup we didn't see too much from the Silk Road either, where the Cypher is just completely alone. They're just gonna play full retake. Right, it's just a full, complete retake situation, and as you can see, the Silk Road come in onto the site. This Cypher is more than happy to just kind of sit back here and not take too many risks whilst its teammates, decide to come across the other side of the map. Tripwire comes off. This is kind of what this Cypher is hoping for, right? Like a sneaky little kill. We still got the camera up here as well to check for this retake, but what we're going to see is quite interesting because this Neon is going to push spawn. And what I think they realize here, the Silk Road, is that a big kind of flank is coming. So they're going to try and push into spawn, as you can see just there. But we're going to get some nice players. They're pretty aware of it, right? Stewie gets a kill from back here. He's aware of that situation. We then do start getting those kills back. And we end up here, right? Now, this Brim on the side, the Spike Planter, is obviously in a very bad spot because his teammates have all left him to come and push spawn, and he's getting, pinched from kind of two sides. So this Brim will go and die just there, and we end up in a 3v3. And then Rossi, I think, gets this crucial kill just in here, right? Just getting that kill there to start off puts them in a 3v2 and now puts them in a very good scenario. So they did try and push spawn. It's a nice idea, to be honest, from the Silk Road, but Wardell gets that one as well. Actually ends up with the last kill also. And you can even see that they planted 4 spawn, so it's a nice idea, but the Nation come through with a really nice, like, good discipline right from, just Stewie getting that first kill right from back here. Good discipline knowing that they might push spawn, that's a possibility. And then obviously they mop up at the end coming from the different directions as well. Really, really good stuff. The Nation looked like a team that maybe honestly could do it, right? That they are a team that could get there into the Challengers League. That would be fun, I think, to see, players like Wardell and Stewie playing in the Challengers League, against players like Shazam. That would be kind of fun to see and whatnot. And, they aren't really that far away from doing it either. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's just good to have VCT back.